knew that I was binging and purging, and I think that if there was more education, people would have known.
Right.
Because a person that eats 3 meals in one, and I remember people
And
used
is
to tell me
skinny.
like, yeah, I remember people used to tell me like, how do you eat like that
Where does
and
it
not
go?
gain weight? Oh, I go to the gym. I
Right.
go to the gym, and what I was really doing, and I was going and purging up everything. It got to the point I was purging water that I was drinking, and I was so sick, and nobody knew. And then I started binging on alcohol. I was so sick, but nobody knew. And I didn't tell anybody because I was so embarrassed, and the shame and embarrassment came from the molestation and being abused in my younger years. But
it gave you a feeling of relief, I bet, and that's what that does. It's a lot of people feel a sense of not only their own control, but releasing all of that is almost a feeling of relief and gratification of being able to control that. It's
it was that. And I remember like I can express it to people of it's like going out and getting high.
Mm-hmm.
That first, the binging for me was hot. The
binging is like overeating, right?
And then
eating until you're full.
Right. So binging is
people
overeating. Yeah.
Some people don't know the terminology.
Okay, yeah. So binging is you just eat excessively and you can't stop. So the control comes in, and where the high would come in is releasing it,
mm-hmm.
and which I would just go and throw everything up. But it got to the point where my teeth started decaying, and I went to a dentist, and the dentist said, "Well, your teeth look like you've been doing something that you shouldn't be doing."
There should be some sort of mental health connection with dental people to dentists, because like they notice that stuff, and I have a lot of clients that come in that are also like, trying to struggling with bulimia, and their dentists notice that too, and even drug addicts, their nose cavity, it's like things like that with doctors, and they just get told that how to protect their teeth or their enamel or their nose or whatever, but they don't offer them services to help them through the problem. I guess they're just doing their job, but still, it's funny. Some things get noticed by other professionals, and they're not connected to the people that can actually help the problem.
Yeah, yep, and that's something that I struggle with. And I'm in secrecy, and I'm going to these professionals like doctors and the dentist, and nobody knows, and all of the signs and the symptoms are there, but nobody knows. So I move along, and it continued on, and unfortunately, medical treatment for eating disorders, it can range anywhere from $500 to $2,000 a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I was not able to receive treatment, even if I wanted to get it. But here I am, just moving on with my life. I had another child, and I just started partying really hard, and I was the big drunk that could drink a whole bottle of tequila in one night and still be walking, but it was because I was binge drinking, and then I'd go throw everything up, and that was normal for me. And I lived like that for many years, and I knew towards the end, I knew that something was not right, and I ended up leaving. I left Florida in 2007, and I moved to Dallas with my last partner. We were on and off for almost for about 10 and a half years, but there was a lot of abuse there and a lot of abandonment, and again, I kept it a secret. I didn't want anybody to know. And then one day I got up and I packed my stuff and I left Dallas and came to Houston. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I took my kids to Florida and left them with my mom. It was a very hard decision, and there's a lot of criticism on, adults leaving their children with the grandparents, but it happens, and
you got to do what's best for the kids, though, regardless on what people think. It's better to leave them with a stable environment than to grow up with instability and security. Right.
Right. I didn't want them exposed to the things that I witnessed when I moved here in Houston. There was probably 10 of us living in a 1-bedroom apartment, and you walk outside and there's a whorehouse upstairs, and these men walking around getting drunk, and people outside of the apartment complex smoking crack. And I knew I didn't want that life for my kids. I just didn't know how to do anything different. So I made the decision, and I took the kids to my mom in Florida, and
I completely think that was a really great decision to get your kids out of there. I don't think anyone would criticize that. Hang on, Jennifer. It's time for our second break, and just hold that thought. It's you're doing great telling your story, by the way, and how much courage it is to talk about it. So I just want to give you a lot of prompts on that, and I know it ends up with a happy ending. So stay tuned. We'll be right back with Moments of Clarity in just a moment.
We will return to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner after these messages.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Did you know that your physical health plays a big role in your mental health? Healthy minds and healthy bodies go hand in hand. The problem for many is finding the time and getting the results they want. X-Force Body is perfect for people with busy schedules, with a mission to inspire you to become leaner, stronger, and in the process healthier. X-Force Body coaches will encourage, motivate, and inspire you through every workout, helping you achieve the results you desire. Learn more about X-Force Body at the grand opening of their new location in South Tampa on May 8th from 5 to 7 p.m. For more information, visit www.xforcebody.com.
Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. Living with a mental health disorder is not easy. If you or someone you know are struggling with this, please know it's so important to seek treatment, and I'm here to help. Please visit the website at momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com to view blog posts and resources on this site to help educate and inspire you to take action, because there's no shame in seeking help for mental health. While you're there, please take a few seconds to sign up for my email list. You'll get some extremely valuable educational and entertaining content that can be sent right to your inbox each week. Plus, you'll also get instant and free access to my guide on managing your anxiety. You can also follow me on Twitter at MOC with Tiffany and at Facebook at Tiffany Warner. And once again, the website is momentsofclaritywithtiffany.com. Thank you so much for your support and for listening to your show, because change can only come when we stand together as one. Hi, this is Tiffany Warner, your host of Moments of Clarity. I'd like to give a shout out to musician-songwriter Don Lawson, who wrote, produced, and performed all the vocals and instruments on my Moments of Clarity theme song. Don gained his inspiration as a mental health counselor himself. He's always looking for artists to record his songs, and you can hear more of Don's music at reverbnation.com/Don Lawson. You can also check him out on Twitter at Don Lawson Music. Thank you so much, Don, for your contribution to Moments of Clarity and ending the stigma on mental health. It's awesome.
This is the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Now back to Moments of Clarity with Tiffany Warner, licensed mental health counselor. To engage in the conversation, call 866-826-1340. Here's Tiffany.
Hey, welcome back. This is Moments of Clarity. I'm Tiffany Warner. I'm a licensed mental health counselor. I'm your host. My guest today is telling her tragic story of what she's been through since even the age of 3: beauty pageants, molestation, incest, surviving domestic violence, and more. And it's a very deep and And not only that, how much courage and it takes to even tell this kind of story, especially with the stigma on mental health that we're trying to expose and shred. And I want to welcome back to Moments of Clarity, Jennifer Knighton. Jen, we were just kind of where you had gone from Florida to Texas and ended up in like the worst neighborhood and dropped your kids off with your mom because it was so dangerous. And but man, what you've been through, you're so brave. I gotta give you kudos on that. Now, callers can call in 866-826-1340. But I think people are just memorized by you telling your story. So it's like,
thank you. So I went through all of that, and I don't know exactly when it hit me, but after everything I'd been through, I knew that was not the life that I wanted to live, and that was not the life that I deserved. But I didn't know how to do anything different. So I started doing a lot of research on myself, and I think my moment of clarity was being slouched over the toilet. Seeing the vomit and thinking that my kids were going to grow up without their mom.
Right. After, you mean from after binging and purging, or
yes,
drinking,
from vomiting, from
it kind of gets to a point.
My body was starting to shut down.
Right. I was going to say that with the eating disorders and everything, it gets to a point where you start to notice, like, man, if I keep this up, I'm going to die.
Yeah, and that's what I thought, and I was like, I'm not going to die this way. And fortunately, in 2014, I was able to get the treatment that I needed. I went into an outpatient program, and I started dealing with a lot of the trauma and learning that, a lot of things that happened in my life, it had nothing to do with me. It's very unfortunate, and there's a lot of people that go through these things, and we feel like we're alone. We feel like, nobody understands, nobody knows what we're going through, but there's so many people that struggle with the same thing.
Absolutely.
Or similar situations, and because there's so much shame, we hide it, and we hide under a rock, and we're not able to live the lives that we're supposed to be living. After all of that,
without the proper help, people don't live up to their potential because they're struggling and self-destructing and don't know what to do. And then after the self-destruction, all that adds more shame because it's more embarrassing to ask for more help after abuse and all this stuff that wasn't your fault. And then the eating disorder kind of just got out of control, and I'm sure you took that on yourself and thought, well, that is my fault. And how could I have let that get out of control? And then it's really hard for a lot of people to go for help at that point, even though none of it is anybody's fault, and it's all just trying to figure out without the proper help. Trying to self-soothe, I guess, in a way of years of molestation and rape and incest. It's really hard to unravel all of those knots and feel strong enough to be on your own 2 feet.
Yeah, but I got the proper treatment, and it was hard work. When I first went into treatment, I remember thinking, like, I'm going to go in there and there's this magic pill that's going to fix me. And
I know I keep losing my magic wand in my office somewhere. People always think I have one.
Little did I know, it took a lot of hard work and commitment, and dealing with my issues and my problems and facing my fears. And I started in 2014, and there's just, I could go on for days of the trauma. There's so much more trauma and abandonment and abuse, and
we have 5 minutes. So so let's go to the recovery part.
After I left treatment, I actually put myself in school and became a chemical dependency counselor.
That's awesome.
And then I
paying it forward. Some of the best counselors are the ones that
definitely
have experienced themselves too. I'm just saying.
Yes, absolutely. But I did that, and then I went